Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. I am currently in a farmhouse kitchen in the county of Sligo. Bloody miserable weather out there, so thought I'd knock out a little quick video while I'm enjoying my coffee this morning. This was one that was requested, and something that I think we probably will be having to start to think about soon when the game is released. The case for the cheap defence. Yeah, I've got some thoughts around this. I'm not quite sure it is where I will ultimately go myself. But the simple fact is, and if we look back at the last few seasons, in the early parts of the seasons, would bring in our Gabriels, our Trent Alexander-Arnolds, etc. But early in the season, not a lot of clean sheets going around. It sort of tends to be that second half of the season where the good defences tend to kick in a wee bit, as we saw last year. And maybe the extra investments needing. And there is no doubt in that first half of the season last year, the teams that brought in, that had the 4.5 million rotating defences did really, really well. Will that be the case this year? We don't know. Obviously, they'll go in with the cheap defence. We get that chance to really put the money into the attack. So this is a quick knock-up little draft. Not 100% convinced these are the right players, but this is something we can play with when we actually see the pricing. We don't have the real pricing yet. This is from FPL Team, where it's a sort of their best guesstimates at what the pricing will be. And I would say one or two of them I'm not too sure about. But would you be able to get 4 or 5 decent 4.5 million defenders? Yes. Which ones? That is going to be the hard thing to judge right at the start of the season. So it may be that we're flicking around. But anyway, this is a little crack at it. Remember, these are these are really for fun drafts at the moment. I think the game is going to be out in within the next week or so. I think there's been some updates been happening on the site. So I'm expecting that we'll sort of see the game probably just after the Club World Cup, I think. I don't know if any of you guys have been following that at all. I haven't watched a single game. I have been playing the fantasy game, not actually doing too badly in it, considering it's a bit of a mess. Daftest tournament ever. Whoever made that decision to run that, yeah, it was all fun. All about the money, isn't it? All about the money, and how's that going to affect also, players coming back from that at the beginning of the season? We'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, little for fun draft. I'm not putting it into the spreadsheet. I'm not going to do any more spreadsheet stuff because it does actually take a bit of a time until we've actually got the real pricing. This stuff has a bit more meaning. But in the meantime, let's have a little look at this. He said, yep. So going with the so this has used up every bit of budget available. Gone with you saw the last video I did about taking no hits. The top 5 teams, top 5 managers last season, all actually started out with a 4.5 million keeper and a non-playing keeper. So just basically really stripping that right to the bone. And saving the money there. So, and they all actually did go with Henderson. And in fairness, the thing with Henderson and that Palace defence, you just don't know. I mean, they're actually pretty good when they get going. And Henderson is capable of some big hauls, penalty saves, etc. And as I say, we're just looking for that sort of 4-point average from a keeper. Henderson seems as good a bet as anyone if he comes in at that 4.5. If that is the strategy that we adopt. Villa. Yeah, I think Konsa probably will be around the 4.5. I think Wan-Bissaka, because it's West Ham, will be 4.5 again. As we saw, he did very, very well, particularly second half of last season, getting some decent attacking returns. Do we trust that West Ham defence? Absolutely not. So there may be other options we'd look at there. Branthwaite, 4.5. Is he going to come in at 4.5? FPL team have got him at 4.5. If he's 4.5, I think I'll definitely have him. If he comes in at that, but there could be other options there with Tarkowski. And then on the bench, just Nico Williams, Forest, yeah, so there'll be some great rotations there, I think. And at the moment, I've just got Hume in there from Sunderland, 4 million. Hopefully, we can sort out a 4 million playing defender once we start to see pre-season games. Just someone just to bench fodder, sit third on your bench, and hopefully never gets used. This is remembering, of course, we have the take no hit strategy, or I do anyways. but hopefully we'd never have to call on that third place on the bench if there are any injuries. Okay, so that leaves us all our money to go into attack. Even then, as I said, again, I don't trust some of these pricings at the moment. But yeah, we've got Salah in there, and I have gone with Wirtz, who is I think priced at 9 million by FPL team. But I think he could even come in at 10, so we don't know whether we trust that. But of course, there's going to be other options there. I'm kind of tempted, and I know you'll all call me crazy, just a gut feeling. Mbeumo does go to United, and obviously there's Cunha there. Now, whether they get an attacker or not. The weird thing with United last year, as crap as they were, and we were really, really crap, the chances that were being missed were absolutely outrageous. I mean, they should have finished off quite a bit higher than what they did. As bad as they were, we obviously have Nana in that goal making huge amounts of mistakes, but not worried about the goal concessions if they're actually starting to score goals up front. And the chances, it was absolutely ridiculous, particularly in that running that were missed, were absolutely mental, absolutely mental. You know, the expected goals was far above what was actually achieved. I've got a little temptation to go in Mbeumo. You know, we know what he's capable of, or Cunha even, and have that almost like because I don't think there's going to be too many go there, and have that as a differential at the beginning of the season. Because I would like to see one sort of differential always in my team as I do the rotations in my spreadsheet and bring players in and out. Have someone that so you don't end up too template-ish. Is it too early in the season to take that gamble, considering the fixtures? Thing with United, we perform against the big boys, and it is when we hit the teams we're expected to beat that we fall over. So tough fixtures in those first few. Could be tempted to have a little crack at that. So at the moment, Wirtz is in there. That could potentially change into an Mbeumo, which gives a bit more money then to maybe change a Rodgers. But Villa's fixtures are not too bad, so wouldn't be too unhappy with Rodgers in there at the moment. Because of course, what it means is I can have with that midfield on the pricing the FPL team have got them at. We can have the Isak and Watkins up front, and someone like a Beto, some decent fixtures. To rotate with Eze, who will also have some decent fixtures coming up. And Eze was outstanding at the end of last season. Do we get the Palace starting out slow and then coming on strong in the second half of the season? Has to be looked at. But, Eze was on fire. Palace are a decent team. They were playing well last year. I think their tails will be up a wee bit. So hopefully we can catch an early wet sail with Palace and Eze. So, overall, that as a team, apart from the very, very cheap defence, actually looks pretty good. You can flick a few players around there to, as it's like, say, take Wirtz out, bring yourself in, I don't know, Gibbs White or something like that. Another decent midfielder that can maybe where you can up the quality of Rodgers. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Rodgers. He's good. He's good. It'll be interesting to see does he really kick on this year. And Villa have got some decent fixtures. So that's kind of it. Just a very, very quick hit video. One thing to point out, I have actually had a play with trying to do a Haaland Salah draft, although of course it is based on the FPL team pricing. Now, you'd have to, they would, he's still going to come in at around that 13.5, 14 million. I think we will have to make our choices between Salah and Haaland. We will, of course, when we get the pricing, look at Salah Haaland drafts. City have got some decent fixtures. I think I'd be more inclined if we want a piece of the City attack to see maybe bring Marmoush in. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, when we get the final pricing. But hard to see a Salah Haaland team because of the sacrifices that would have to be made elsewhere. Right, that's it. That is the case for the cheapy defence. Heather, I know that's something you're having a look at, so hopefully that was useful for you. But of course, these are early days. Let me know what you think in the comments. Been great seeing so many new subscribers coming on recently. I think the game will be launched maybe next week, end of next week, or certainly the following week, so we can get down to the real business. So in the meantime, take care, have fun, play your own game. Don't panic. No need to panic yet. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.